My name is Ogun Michael Immonite Esquire. VIN violation, vehicle identification violation. This is newly introduced by Nigeria Customs Service under WCO, World Customs Organization, and under SETS, Common External Tariff. VIN violation to all of us is a new nomenclature, and it has to do with VIN. We all have 17 digits, which comprise of alphabets and numbers, and these digits make up the VIN, which is the chassis number to some people. It's 17 and is either standard or non-standard. If it's standard, which means by the time you register your VIN with the VREG, it automatically brings the information, and the information pop up with the model, the year, and the type of vehicle. With this, you proceed after receiving your VREG certificate, which will be displayed after payment is made on the VREG portal of the Ministry of Finance. Now that you have your VREG certificate issued, you proceed to the system of NICES, whereby you're going to impute the same VIN that have been given to you through the VIN certificate that was displayed. Which means you have to open the two portals together, the VREG and the Custom NICES 2. At that point, copy your VIN from the portal of the VREG and put it on the column of the chassis under item. Your HS code at this point is very, very paramount. This is where we know the technicality and intelligence of most stakeholders. HS code for vehicle with petrol are divided into three. We have the one for 1,000 capacity engine, we have the one for 1,005 capacity engine, and we have the one for 3,000 capacity engine. By the time you are doing your data capture from VREG, you should use the appropriate HS code for your VREG, because this is the same thing that you have to impute for your VIN violation. Once you do this and you marry the two together and it's the same, then automatically you impute the value of this HS of these vehicles are gotten from the custom tariff book, which we call the blue book. This custom tariff blue book, we start from 2014 to the latest date of 2020. You use the method of depreciation on those values, which you're going to place on your value icon in the VIN violation portal of the NICES. Once you put this, you modify, and if the system accepts, you verify. If the system tells you ignore, go back, ignore and verify again, and it will be accepted. But if the system now tells you the value you impute is not compatible with the value of the Nigerian Customs Service, it means you need to go back to the value and increase your value until the value is accepted by the system. For non-standard, if you're having a non-standard VIN, which you have to use a procedure code of 846, which the system will pop out and tell you that based on your non-standard VIN for this chassis number, you are to proceed your declaration with the procedure code 846. At this point, you write a letter to the CAC by screenshotting that very command that pop up. Screenshot it and print it out, attach it, and if peradventure you have the picture, if it's an accident vehicle or if it's a vehicle that the VIN is not standard, you have the chassis number where the frame is reading made in Europe, you can attach it, while the controller will give you an approval. That approval is what you're going to use in going back to your NICES to assess your job. We know that a lot of agents are having bottlenecks. A lot of teething problem has come up since on Monday. This is very, very common because this models that we are using are new models being introduced, and a lot of people are not having this real experience of doing this, performing this IT service. Because for you to perform this IT service on VIN violation, you need to be very conversant with your HS code of all these vehicles. Now we know that vehicles are categorized, but this VIN violation for now is meant for vehicles that you cannot get value for, which are cars, Jeep, SUV. But that of pickup, which is under 8704, truck 8704, bus 8704. We all know that these items of vehicles, normally from before now, we apply the procedure code 846 because most of these trucks, buses are mainly from Europe and Asia, especially Dubai, and those countries are having non-standard VIN. So the procedure code 846 is deployed on them because the value itself has not been imputed in the custom system, because the custom system is just trying to formalize that of the car, SUV, and Jeep, because those ones are the ones inside this national violation database for imported vehicles into Nigeria. As I've said earlier on again, we know we're going to have a lot of teething problems. Like today, being the 27th day of May, we have a lot of issue from VREG, which we all know that VREG is not controlled by the Nigerian Customs Service. VREG is controlled by FOCO, which are providing service for the Ministry of Finance. And FOCO are having issues because all assessment today, by the time you finish your VREG and you have your certificate you want to assess, when you get to the VIN portal, the VIN aspect of the NICES, where you import your VIN from the VREG and place it at the column of the VREG. By the time you impute the figure, if all the information comes out, the system will automatically pop up and tell you that your VIN does not exist. We have made this complaint to the VREG department, and they said they are looking into it because they found out that this thing is escalating today, and they will look into it to make sure that they resolve it, so that there will be smooth transition in the system between VREG department and the Nigerian Customs Service. As I've said earlier on, if the system is telling you to use the HS code, the procedure code 846, what you just do is print that page out, that pop up that thing, print it, scan it and print it out, attach it to an application to the CAC of the command, either APAPA, TINCAN, or PTML, applying for the use of Procedure Code 846 to enable you carry out the clearance of your vehicle, to enable you pay duty, assess the job and pay duty. So based on that, the controller will direct you on what and what to do. This is the department of the custom where they need to play. But if you do it on your own, that is where you have issue, because there's going to be an alert on that very job in which you're going to refer back to the Nigerian Customs Service. So my fellow colleagues, the value popping up from the VIN violation are very, very okay to that of the value we are receiving while applying. The only difference in this aspect is that the VIN violation only accepts a value from 2013 to 2022, while 2013 value can be applied as the same for standard VIN for 2007, 2008, 2009, 10 and 11, 12, 13 to conform with the government policy that says 15 years vehicles are to be imported into the country. But for depreciation's sake, you cannot depreciate a vehicle for 100%. That's why the standard of 90% depreciation was issued on all imported vehicles into the country. And a benchmark of 2013 was used by the Nigerian Customs Service. So that if you are having a 2012 Toyota Highlander, the same value the system you impute in the system and the system approve for you through the artificial intelligence is still the same value that the system will approve for you for 2012, 2011, 2010, 2009, 8 and 7. What does this tell us? It tells us that from onset, a newer version of vehicle should be imported into the country, so that we cannot be wasting money importing 0708 and paying the duty as high as that of 2013. So, my fellow colleagues, VIN violation is different from E-violation. E-violation is a baby of CBN that has been cancelled by the House of Reps for lacking standard of operation. And the levy employed by Ministry of Finance against used vehicle was only implemented by Nigerian Customs Service by carrying out the order. But we are using this to appeal that once this value of VIN violation is accepted, let the Ministry of Finance seek it as a means to remove the levy imposed on these used vehicles, so that the end users will not be buying these vehicles at a very ridiculous price because of inflation, so that costs of vehicle can now be standardized, because whatever you are importing already is in the system. So that if we now start this VIN violation that has commenced since on Monday 23rd of May and is really effective, that no custom is stopping you to tell you that your violation, you are having short payments or your value is low, either from the enforcement unit, either from the CIU unit, either from the strike force or from FOU, because the standard is not generated by the agents, but is generated by the Nigerian Customs Service, T&T, and IT modernization, and the system recognize the value of dollar that you impute through the artificial intelligence. Then the Ministry of Finance should deem it fit to make this a standard, so that more importation from 013 can come in, and people abroad can enjoy transaction between two countries, both America, Nigeria, Europe and Nigeria, and every other country that deem it fit to do their international trade business with Nigeria. So at this point, I want to tell my fellow colleagues, my fellow Ankara body, my fellow freight forwarders, that there is no cause for alarm, that we will engage ourselves educationally. We will teach ourselves the mode of how we can assess this being violation at good speed, at credible declarance, integrity declarance, and at the end of the day, we all will be a compliance clearing agents, freight forwarders, custom brokers in the whole country. So that once we are talking about Nigerian clearing and forwarding agents, we'll be saying they are one of the best in the world, because we too, we are educated, we have integrity to protect, and we want to be compliant. So that being compliant, we can control our job directly from our office. And I encourage most license holders to have their office equipped with laptop printers. Get a secretary and stop going around with people that don't really know what HS code is and how to go about this being violation. Because this being violation to me is blameless, and I believe every one of us should be encouraged to do that. I want to thank the Nigerian Customs Service for bringing this ovation, because this ovation has come to stay and is one of the best, and we all embrace it for the betterment and growth of the economy of Nigeria. Thank you very much.